line character or when I read the input that is equal to 0, in that time this getLine function is get terminated. What is str? Here that is nothing but the string, and what is len? That is nothing but the len. What is strcat here? That is nothing but string concatenation. Hello to all, a warm welcome to my new session on functions, and this is the last session under this chapter. I'm Revati, faculty, Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram, Pre-University College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. In my last session of this chapter, I have discussed the following topics. That is, at the beginning, I started with character function. So what is character? So here characters are nothing but single alphabet or single character, and we discussed some of the functions which supports characters. That is, we discussed what is 2 lower, what is 2 upper, is alphanumeric or as digit. These are the functions, and these functions are stored under C type .h. So this is the header file I need to include in my program. Then I have discussed what is string. So what is string here? Here strings are nothing but the collection of characters. And C++ programming language supports some of these string functions. And if I want to make use of string functions in my program, then I need to include the header file called string.h. This is the header file I need to include in my program. Suppose if I want to make use string functions in my program. So these are the topics I have explained in my last session. But in my today's session, I'm going to deal with how to inputting a string. Along with that, I'm going to deal with how to display the string and what are the string function I'm going to have under this string function concept. That is strlen, that is string length function, string concatenate function, string copy function, string comparison function, and once again I'm going to have string comparison function with I. Along with that, other functions which is supported by the string.h header file. Dear student, we know that string is nothing but a collection of character, and at the end I'm going to place the null character. Suppose if I forget to place the null character at the end of the string, then compiler automatically place the null character at the end of the string. Now think that I want to read the string. So we know that strings are nothing but a collection of character. So to read collection of character, I'm going to have getLine function. So what is my method name? It is getLine, and it's going to take 2 parameters. One is string and another one is size. And how I'm going to call this getLine function? With the help of cin. So with the help of cin object, with the help of dot operator, I'm going to call getLine function. So this is the example. So here cin getLine, and this is my string name. Along with that, I'm going to specify the size. So the getLine, the function terminates reading characters on reading a new line character. So here the getLine function terminates reading characters on reading a new line character when number of characters read is equal to 0. So this function is going to terminate when I read the new line character, or when I read the character that is equal to 0. So how this function is going to terminate? When I read new line character or when I read the input that is equal to 0, in that time this getLine function is get terminated. So the new line character is read but replaced by the null character. That means there are certain situations, if the new line character is read, then it is replaced by the null character. Then I'm going to have outputting a string. That means how I'm going to display the string. So here I'm going to have the write function. That means to display the string content, I'm going to have the write function. And what are the parameters I'm going to have here? That is my string name along with the size. And I'm going to call this write function with the help of dot operator as well as cout object. So here cout dot write, and I'm going to have the string variable, and this is the length of the string or size of the string. So the write function displays the specified number of characters. That means here I'm going to specify the length 25. So this function is going to display the 25 character. So whatever the write function I'm going to use in my program, and it's going to display the character based on the specified size. For example, if the size is 10 character. If the size is 100, then 100 character. Moving further, I'm going to have this simple example, that is to read a string and print this string. That means I want to read the string as it is, and I want to display the string in the same way how I read. So dear student, the name of the array is S, and it is of type character array, and it is responsible for reading or storing 50 characters. And what's the memory allocated for this array? It is 50 bytes. Now I'm going to take one more variable called L, and it's of type integer. Now I'm going to read the input by using getLine function. So what is my string name? It is S, and what is the length? Here it is 50, because the size of the array S is 50. So here I'm going to specify 50. Now I'm going to call the string length function. And what is the use of string length function? It is going to return the length of this string, and it's going to return the length of this string. So it is integer. So the size is always integer. So now L holds the size of the string. Now I want to display the string. So what I will do, I'm going to call the write function to display the string. So here I'm going to pass the string name along with the size of the string. This is the way I can able to make use of getLine function as well as write function in my program. Now I'm going to have this string length function. In short, it is called strlen. So what is str? Here that is nothing but the string, and what is len? That is nothing but the len. But in short, it is string len, that is strlen. So this function returns the length of the string. So it is going to return the length of the string, that is the number of characters which is present in this string. For example, if I'm having 50 characters in my string, then it's going to return the length 50. If it is 10, I'm going to get the length 10. The general form here I'm having, first one, I'm going to take one variable to store the length equal to, and I'm going to call this string length function. Along with that, I'm going to pass the name of the string. So a string of length 0 is called null string. That means if this function is going to return the value 0, then it is called null string. So this is the example I'm going to have. So L equal to string length, and I'm going to pass impress. So what is the length I'm going to get? So number of characters which is present in this string. So 1 character, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Total 7 characters are present in this string. So I'm going to get the value 7. Now I'm going to have the simple example here. See, at the beginning I'm going to have the character data type, and my array name is string, that is st, and it is capable to store 100 characters, and I'm going to take one variable to store the length. So here at the beginning I'm going to enter or read the input from the keyboard. So I'm going to call getLine function with the help of cin object. Now I'm going to pass my string name along with the size. Now I want to know the length of my string, so I'm going to call the method called stringlen, and I'm going to pass the variable that is nothing but the string name. Now I'm going to get the length of the string. Now I'm going to display the length of this string. This is the way I can able to use strlen function in my program. Now I'm going to have the strcat. So what is strcat here? That is nothing but string concatenation. Suppose if I want to combine two strings together, then I can able to use the function called string concatenate. This function is used to concatenate two strings. So it is mainly used to club two strings together. The process of combining two strings to form a string is called concatenation. So here this is the process of combining two strings to form one string is called concatenation. So here I'm going to use the function strcat, and I'm going to pass two variables. It's going to accept two variables because it's going to combine two strings to form one single string. For that reason, it's going to take two arguments or two variables. So here, this is my data type, that is character, and name of the string, and I'm going to store the value or assign the string to the string variable. In my first string, I'm going to have win, and in my second string, I'm going to have down 8. Now I want to club or combine these two strings. When I call string concatenate function with the help of passing two variables, that is str1 and str2, I'm going to get the answer or output that Windows 8. So here it's mainly used to club two string to form one single string. Now I'm going to have string copy. So what is string copy? I want to copy the string, that is one string to another string. A string cannot be copied to another string by assignment statement. For example, if I consider int a equal to 10, now int b equal to a. So what's the meaning here? I'm going to copy the value 10 to b, because at the beginning I'm going to assign 10 to a, and if I write b equal to a, then This indicates that I'm going to copy the value of A to B. But if I consider string, I cannot able to assign the string directly. That means if I want to copy the string from one string to another, then I'm going to use string copy function. So the general form I'm going to have here string copy string 1 and string 2. That means I'm going to copy the string 2 to string 1. Listen here, I'm going to copy the content of string 2 to string 1. So it copies all the characters to string 2 to string 1. That means whatever the content which is present in this string 2 is copied to string 1. Now see here, at the beginning I'm going to have my first string, that is str1, and I'm going to store computer. And if I consider my second string, that is str2, I'm going to store science. Now if I call string copy, that indicates that the content of str2 is copied to str1. Now I'm going to get the result science. So I'm going to copy the content of string 2 to string 1. So here str copy is nothing but copying the string from one string to another string. Now I'm going to have another function called string comparison function. Now I want to compare both these strings are equal or not. To compare the strings, I'm going to have the string compare function. So this function is used to alphabetically compare a string with another string. That means I'm going to compare the string alphabetically. So this function is case sensitive. So if I use string compare function, then it is case sensitive. That means it's going to treat uppercase letters as well as lowercase letters are different. So here string function is mainly used to compare the string alphabetically, and uppercase letters as well as lowercase letters both are different. So the general form I'm going to have here is string comparison, and I'm going to pass string 1 as well as string 2. So here I'm going to pass string 1 as well as string 2. Now it compares all the characters of string 2 with string 1. So it's going to compare all the characters of string 1 with string 2. And the function returns a positive value. For example, strcmp, think that s1 and s2 are my two strings. Okay, and if I call this function in my program, it's going to return three possible output, that is positive number, negative number as well as 0. So if S1 greater than S2, then it is going to return the positive value. If S1 less than S2, then it is going to return negative value. If both the strings are equal, then it's going to return the value 0. So it compares all the characters of str2 with str1. For example, think that S1 is equal to ABC and S2 equal to small letter ABC. Now it's going to compare all the characters individually. That means it's going to compare the first character of S1 with the first character of S2. Next time it's going to compare the second character of S1 with the second character of S2. Third time it's going to compare the third character of S1 with the third character of S2. This is the way it is going to compare individual character, and it is going to return three possible output: negative value, positive value, as well as 0. So when S1 greater than S2, obviously it is positive value, and if S1 less than S2, I'm going to get the negative value, and if both the strings are equal, then it's going to return the value 0. So consider the example here. At the beginning, I'm going to have the string 1, that is there, and if I consider string 2, it is once again there. But see the difference here. It is capital letter T and small letter t. But if I consider string comparison, the uppercase letters as well as lowercase letters both are different. So when I call strcmp, that is str2, str1, it's going to return the negative value, because if I consider t, the value of t is around 80. The value of t is around 80. And if I consider small letter t, it is around 118. It's around 118. Now 118 greater than 80. Okay, so 118 is greater than 80. That means STR1 is less than STR2. In that situation, it is going to return the value negative. Now, I'm going to have the strcmpi function. So, it is not case sensitive. That means if I use string comparison I function in my program, then it is not case sensitive. So it's going to consider uppercase as well as lowercase, both are same. So this function is used to alphabetically compare a string with another string. This function is not case sensitive. Once again, this function is used to check the strings alphabetically. So alphabetical wise, I'm going to check or compare. But here uppercase as well as lowercase letters both are same. That means it reads the uppercase and lowercase letters are same. So whatever the input I'm going to provide, that is in the form of uppercase or lowercase, both are same in case of strcmpi. So here I'm going to have the general form. So strcmpi, then string 1 and string 2. And if I consider this function, here also I'm going to have the three possibility, that is positive value, negative value, as well as 0. So here it compares all the characters of str2 with str1. Now it's going to compare all the characters of str2 with the str1 and returns positive value if string 1 greater than string 2. It's going to return the negative value when string 1 less than string 2, and it's going to return the value 0 when both the strings are equal. So here I'm going to have the example. So there, this is my str1, this is my str2. But if I use string compare I, then it's going to consider or treat uppercase letter as well as lowercase letters, both are same. So for that reason, here S1 equal to S2. That means both the strings are equal. So it's going to return the value 0. So here, if S1 greater than S2, some positive value. Otherwise, that means S1 less than S2, some negative value. If both S1 and S2 are equal, then it's going to return the value 0. This is the way I can able to use built-in functions in my program. So here, to determine whether the string is palindrome or not, this is the simple program used to check the given strings are palindrome or not. So what is palindrome here? When I read any word from left to right or right to left, I want to get same word or same string. For example, if I consider madam, and if I start reading from left to right or right to left, I'm going to get the word or string madam. And if I consider Malayalam, once again, if I start reading from left to right or right to left, I'm going to get the same string. And that kind of strings or words are called palindrome. Now, see here, I'm going to take two strings, that is S and R. And what is the length here? It is 100 character. Now, I'm going to read this string with the help of getLine function, and where I'm going to store the red string in the variable called S. And what's the length here? It is 100. Now I'm going to copy both the strings, that is the string which is present in the string S to R. Now I'm going to reverse this string. How I'm going to reverse this string? With the help of str reverse. So this is also one of the string function stored under or present under string.h. So after reversing the string, I'm going to check. So here I'm not bothered about the case. For that reason, I'm going to use string CMPI, and I'm going to check both the strings, that is S as well as R. And if the red and compared strings are equal, then I'm going to display the message that it is palindrome. Otherwise, it is not a palindrome. Now, with the example, let me to trace here. For example, I'm going to read this string madam, and where it is stored in the S. Now, what I will do, I'm going to copy this string to R. So, it is madam. Now, I'm going to call the reverse string function. So, here I'm going to reverse the string. After reversing, once again, I'm going to get same string. Now, I'm going to compare this string with this string. If both the strings are equal, then I'm going to get the message or result that the strings are palindrome. Otherwise, it is not a palindrome. So this is the way I can able to use built-in functions in my program. So what is the advantage of having built-in functions in my program? It is very easy to write the program, and I'm going to reuse the existing things. Instead of writing same thing again and again, what I'm going to do, I'm going to reuse the existing functions as well as properties. So this is the advantages of library function. So dear student, in my today's session, I started with what is string. Along with that, I have explained what is string comparison, what is string concatenate, what is string copy function, etc. I hope, dear students, in my today's session you got more information about functions. Let's meet in the next session with some more information about user defined function. Until then, keep watching and keep learning. Thank you.